All right. Here we are. What's going to happen? I don't know.
I also don't know. Thanks for asking.
Okay. Do you want to explain to the audience what's going to happen? Or
Okay,
not what's
so
going to happen,
we got-
but what we plan to do roughly?
Yes. Okay, so what we plan to do roughly is, we've been talking about this for a long time. Basically, we have prepared a couple pieces of music, and we're going to bring musical bombs to each other. So it's bring your own bomb. And we are going to BYOB ourselves and see, basically we're trying to like share new stuff, surprising stuff, really anything, and this is something we've been waiting for forever, and so it's like, it's so nice that we can actually do it finally. And I have no idea what Sir Joseph is going to present to me, and this is diverse source material. He has I don't even know. I have so many options. I don't know what I'm going to show you. But we're sort of vaguely aiming to do 3 each, but we might just roll and see what happens to the Lord.
Yeah, basically, we're going to do essentially rounds of show and tell, where like you'll show me something, we'll talk about it. I'll show you something, we'll talk about it. And we'll do that 3 times each.
Yes.
And we'll see what happens.
You gonna start, bro?
You want me to start?
I don't know. Do you want me to
Oh,
start?
God. I'll start.
Dude,
all right.
No pressure. No pressure. Hey, no problem.
God. Okay. I feel terror
nervous,
now.
bro?
All right.
Calm. Go.
Okay.
Does it?
I'll
So,
start.
Yeah, you can give like backstory or not, or just play it or whatever. It's really just because some of these I'll want to give you a little bit of a whatever. But
Yeah.
some of these I don't want that. I just want
Okay.
detonate on some of this. Oops.
Ooh, what was that?
That was nice. All right.
Hey,
Huh.
that's the
Ears?
key I'm playing in. How'd you know that?
I didn't, but go ahead. Oh. Oh, come on. Wow. Oh, it's a problem. Oh. Oh,
Ooh.
careful. That would have been. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, you know that whole thing now. You can just play that whole thing now.
Yeah.
That's cool. When did you learn that?
Well,
Like,
I was cheating. I have the sheet music for it because I didn't want to mess up, but
Whatever.
I learned
yeah.
it like a couple of weeks
Not
ago.
cheating.
Okay, let me give some context to the rest of the world. This is
Oh, right.
this is from the movie Saving Private Ryan, and this is a piece composed by John Williams, the greatest film composer of all time, and it's called "Hymn to the Fallen." And so you actually have more experience with this piece than I do. And I remember you showed it to me in Aspen for the first time. You showed me the Boston Pops recording,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I think that might be the one from that's like
Yeah.
in the movie. But because that was recorded back when John Williams was like the conductor of the Boston Pops, and
Right.
it's so funny that like I've played Pops orchestra, and usually like in orchestras, the reason we do this isn't necessarily for Pops concerts, like to do like a Michael Bublé side by side. It's like, look, love you, Michael, but it's like that's not why we get into this. We get into this to play stuff like well, guys, John Williams, but it's so funny that he was the Pops conductor for the Boston Pops. So they would just show up, and they had John Williams conducting for their Pops shows, because usually Pop shows are kind of like a you know. But oh man, Hymn to the Fallen, yeah. So that was the do you have the recording?
I do. Yeah.
Uh,
So,
hmm. You have thoughts?
I have a question about this for you. So, I think my recollection is that in the movie, this is the end credits theme and doesn't appear anywhere else. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah. That's my memory because I remember I was really getting into this and like when I was first I don't know if I watched it when I was first getting into film scoring around COVID time, but I remember I was just so obsessed and in love with that music that I was like, I need to watch this movie. Like I'd never seen it, you know. I had heard it was like iconic and very famous for a lot of reasons, but I'd never seen it. So I was like, I gotta watch this, and my ears were wide open, ready to hear Hymn to the Fallen, and it never showed up until the end.
Mm.
And then I was like, you know what? That's okay with me. That's totally fine. Because then you're just sitting there in the end credits, and it's just bathe me. So
Yeah, it's very special. So I'm going to play the Boston Pops recording, and then I have some things to say about this piece. But I'll just play what I just played, the actual recording.
Oh. Oh. Dude, that is a spiritual moment. And you know, as a brass player, you know, I played this a couple times in Jacksonville and Charlotte with John Parker. John Parker was the one who showed me this, I think, maybe. And that was when we were both in Charlotte Symphony. And yeah, it was just so, God, it's such a core memory every time I play it. It's such a meaningful part and such a meaningful brass chorale, you know, and oh God, so mid on this piano compared to okay. And then what is it? Yeah, just but that down to the C major, that moment with the tuba and just the whole brass, there's just nothing like it, you know. And that's the reason we play brass instruments, you know. That's like part of my favorite thing about brass is like when you play just harmonies and just like nice music that's simple and pure, and that's why Gabrielle's popular and stuff. But like that is just wait, I have a funny story about not this piece, but the people who are playing trumpet on this. It's not necessarily related to that recording, but so Tom Rolfes, who's principal of the Boston Symphony, and he's like one of my lords and mentors, and I love him. He is on all these recordings with John Williams. He's not playing first because it was a long time ago, and I think he was like second or associate principal or something. He's done every position in the BSO. But Tim Morrison is playing first on all the John Williams stuff. So all the like, there's other things like Born on the 4th of July and Amistad. There's a couple amazing trumpet solos. And Tim Morrison. So Tim is, I believe, playing first on this, and then I think Tom might be playing second. I know Tom also played like the offstage. Bumpy ba. This. Oh, so it's got to be Tim and Tom. Oh, come on, dude.
Oh, I gotta pause that. I'm gonna cry.
Are you kidding me? I'm too weak for this. It's just ridiculous. So, wow. Oh, God, you can't just do that and distract me. Okay. Oh, right. So anyways, Tim Morrison, as far as like a sound concept for the trumpet, he's sort of when it comes to lyrical playing and just amazing, beautiful playing, he's sort of God to me, and probably everybody. You know, anyone who knows his recordings, it's like no one plays as vocally as he does. And so he lives in LA because he moved here a while ago. I don't remember when, but like he lives here. So when I moved here, I called him. I don't know how I got his number, but I hit him up and I was like, "Hey, Tim, what's going on?
What's up?
What's up?" And he's like, "Who's this? Who the fuck are you?" So then I told him about Rolf's and Tanglewood and how we have all this like sort of keeping us together, or all these connections and stuff. And so we met, and then Tim, oh man, he was so wonderful and so cool and nice. But it was so funny because what he was like, yeah, just come here to this like random like intersection next to this busy street, and like over here, I think he might have like dropped a pin on a map or something, and was like, we'll meet here. And I was like, okay.
Kinda sketchy.
And yeah, it was super weird. And then I go and meet him, and he just has this little like he's in a lawn chair, and he has another one for me, and we're just like under a tree next to this road, like just like in this little alcove, just chilling there for like 5 hours, and he has cigars, and we're
Are
chilling
you
there
kidding me?
I swear to God, we're just chilling under a tree, smoking cigars, talking about the truth, and I'm like, Tim,
Dude, that is a
you know what
that
you
is
mean
an
to me.
S tier hang.
Yes, it was. And so it was so cool, and it was wonderful because he's been a bit of a trumpet hero of mine, you know, because he was such a part of the John Williams trumpet, you know, solos. I mean, he plays most of the solos, you know, of all the like the really big ones in all the John Williams scores. So it was that was crazy. So there's my nugget about Hymn to the Fallen. Nothing to do with Hymn to
That's
the Fallen,
cool. I mean, hanging out in wheelchairs with, well, not
but
wheelchairs.
wheelchairs.
I had a premonition of us in
Oh,
40
dude,
years.
fine. We'll see under the tree in 4 years. Oh my God! Holy sweet! All right,
No problem.
yeah,
Man, that's a vibe. That's awesome.
it was so cool. Yeah. So, but anyways, man, Hymn to the Fallen.
Anyways, yeah. So I have some like music theory stuff to say about it, but I think the more important thing is like the way it feels to me emotionally and spiritually, which is I feel like more than any other piece I've ever heard, it captures valor. Just this, you know, like put country above yourself. And it's like the noblest of intentions that you could say be in the armed forces. And it captures the spirit of that for me. It's just so much honor in that.
Oh God!
And it just hits me in the chest every time I hear it. I don't know how you encapsulate that musically, but there are I notice after playing it a lot, there's some cool things he does. So one of like the core things he does is it's a lot of just 1, 4, and 5 chords, you know, just the most. But it's mostly like 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 1.
Yeah, it's so simple, so basic
simple,
harmonically.
Basic, but one of the cool things he does is that he has pedal tone going the whole time. He has G the whole time, though.
Yeah.
So
That's
a D
it.
chord, but
That's the one.
G in the bass.
Yes.
The whole time, just baking G until here,
Yeah.
and then rest. Just has a phrase and then starts again. He does the same thing like the main theme too, but then like gives like the tuba a huge part.
Oh my God! Right.
Huge 4 chord. Unbelievable.
Like the fact that you started with this is just like such a bomb.
I know. Well, I was gonna start with something different if you went first, but since I was going first, I'm like, I just have to bomb the crap out of
send
them.
it. Yeah, no, good. I respect it. I'm just like, how do I follow this? No pressure, but
no pressure.
Okay.
This is the only like emotional heavy one I have, but
all right. Well,
one other like maybe like two more things about this. So another thing I realized is that, and I checked this, and if anyone wants to verify this, go ahead, but there are no accidentals in this entire piece.
Oh, wow. So it's just diatonic.
It's
just straight
100% diatonic.
Wow.
But you know how he does it. So I'm like, how does he? So it's like, for anyone like who doesn't know, it's like if you're just playing in G, there's only so many places you can go. So it's like, how much drama can you get out of just staying in the same key?
Yeah.
The
Never
way
changing keys. That's true.
The way he milks it is that he uses two relatively uncommon chords to use, which is the median. So he uses B minor, and he uses the leading tone. He uses so G major. Builds the. Usually people don't use that because it's a diminished chord, and it's like it's basically just part of like 5. But like he uses that. Dun, dun, dun.
I was gonna ask what that was. So the bass is F sharp.
F sharp.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man, incredible. Jesus. Oh, what a problem. Like,
it's unbelievable.
This is so ridiculous, dude.
So like he uses these uncommon chords to keep the tension going, despite it just having it just solidly in G major, which I think is such a cool decision because he doesn't like go to D. He doesn't like go down to F. He just keeps it like right in the center. It's just.
Yeah, but that's also like part of the feel of it just being sort of so pure, you know, is that
it's so
it's
pure.
Not ever wandering harmonically. It's just truth slowly emerging, you know, from different orchestration too, because he does the choir and then the brass plays the chorale and stuff. So he keeps it interesting. It's like 6 minutes long, right? The piece.
Yeah.
But he keeps it very interesting because of that, you know, because of orchestration, and also when it's just such a pure, when it has so much soul and so much truth behind the music, you don't need to do anything, you know. It's like you can just let it roll, you know. And when you're just that good, and when you've got such a good idea, you don't have to be fancy with your orchestration. Of course he can, and he has many times, but he was like, I don't need to, because
but that's the essence of this. There's like the pure intention of honor and valor and sacrificing yourself for something higher. Like it's the opposite of flaunting it. It's just like you feel it, and it's just, you know, it's
he's
just in your heart.
Off.
You're not trying to make a show of it.
No. Yeah, he's just letting it out, and he's not showing off in the slightest.
Man, I don't know if I'm gonna get to all my bombs today. I just have so much to say on this.
Dude.
We'll see how far we get. But
you're so prepared.
my other ones are a lot lighter, by the way. Like,
okay, good.
Lighter.
I'm like,
but,
I was like, dude, I can't play these things. I was just rolling. I'm just like, dude, this is good. This is good. You know. And, but yes, go on.
I have a little story, and then maybe like 2 more musical things to say about this. So a little story is that back in college, I competed in this trombone competition, ETW, which is hosted in DC. And it was right next to Arlington National Cemetery. And I remember before the competition, I was super nervous, obviously. But I was just walking around Arlington National Cemetery with my mom. And something about, I mean, cemeteries in general like makes you think lifey anyways, but something about Arlington was these rows of these like very like the same white tombstones, and it quieted my mind. It was a spiritual experience. What was weird is this is not related, but like I was wearing a suit, but a bird pooped in my shoulder And then my mom and I were like, that's good luck. And so we just took it that way, and I ended up winning the competition.
Whoa!
Not because of that, but we just had like a very good
Because of
mindset
that.
about it,
Yeah.
But the reason I think of Arlington is because like I see that. I don't even know if it's in the movie, but like
I think
just
it is. I think it is.
Yeah.
Because it shows him getting old. Have you seen the movie? No. Yeah.
I've seen it a long time ago. I haven't seen it in a while.
But I think I remember a shot of him where he's like super old and then he's like young and he's in the same place and stuff, and it's just
Yeah, but something about it's like this. I could try to describe it with words, but this music is exactly what I feel when you're just in Arlington. You see these tombstones, see the American flag, and it's just so pure.
Yeah, and like
it makes me really emotional to think about it.
I can barely handle this, like I can barely.
All right, I'm gonna get off of this bomb. I have two
No,
more things to say about
we're
it.
good. But I wanted to say I can barely handle this, but like I mean, partially because my brother's ex-military, and
Right.
and so it's like, I remember even before he joined the military, I couldn't handle this, because like I was in high school and I was plenty good enough when I was a senior to like, but somebody asked me to play taps, and I was like. Man, I can't do that. It's too much for me.
Man,
and
that's a lot of pressure.
And I've never played taps. To this day, I've never played it. I've been asked to, but I've always said no. And it's like, it has nothing to do with, like, of course, out of respect and everything, but I just can't handle it. It's like, it's just a little too much for me. And Michael Harper, he's played taps a bunch at Arlington Cemetery because he's now in the NSO. So he's in DC and everything. So I've seen him there and he's wearing the outfit and stuff. And I'm like, dude, good for you. I could never.
Good for you.
And thank you. And like my old trumpet teacher, Christian Hinkle, that was like most of his job, playing taps, in a military band. And I'm like, on the one hand, it seems like a bougie job because it's like you're just playing like, open notes, it's so easy. But the emotional weight every day, that is a hard job, and I can't handle it, but it's still, I love what you said about how it's like we can't even explain it, but this music says it all,
Yeah, it says it all. Like I could say things about like its service and all of this, and like I want to be, this is a separate conversation about like should artists be political, but like there's war going on in the world right now, and it's like this is about for me it's about the individual, say, soldiers' intention to serve something higher than them. It doesn't say about like what the chain of command is, whether it's noble, because war is a terrible thing, and it's really complicated. So it's like it's a bad thing, but like it's the intention to sacrifice for something greater than yourself that I think is captured in this music that really speaks to me.
Yeah, dude.
God, I don't know. I'm bombing myself so much immediately. It's so intense.
It just destroyed me. But it's such amazing, worthwhile music, and like it's super famous music, but also we didn't know about it until we were like 20 or something, and so it's like it's cool that we can share this on this kind of a platform and just be like, this is good, we're just drawing attention to this, and these feelings are hard, but they're important, and John Williams has just like really given us something with this, so bless you.
I promise just two more musical things. One is the intervals he uses for the trumpets at the beginning. He later does it with like woodwinds, but I just want to play these so we can talk about it.
Yes, because they're not just normal. G major the whole time. In the strings,
Do
just
you know
holding.
it? Do you know the intervals?
No. Is that it?
But the first one, open fifth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Okay, because I was thinking the generic version would be just sixth, so we're in D major. Or what other? I guess it was over G. Wow. But oh my God. And then he goes to also A in the string somewhere.
Yep.
Oh man.
Boy, I think it's really beautiful about
God.
this that also relates to Olympic fanfare is that you take something that could have been very basic intervallically. Like he could have just done parallel six the whole time.
Which is what
And then,
anyone would think. Yeah.
but he has select perfect fifths with the six. So it's like,
Yeah, so the lower voices. Yeah.
and then 2/5. So fifth, DNA,
No
fifth,
way.
sixth. Yeah.
Oh, cool. God. Yeah, the openness of those fifths. And he's so good about that. Yeah. What about Olympic fanfare? You said.
So Olympic fanfare.
Right.
So like the cool, like it could be like
Right.
just thirds, but
how lame? Way better. Fourths at first. Yeah.
Yep.
So that means it's D. So the lower voice instead of yeah.
because that's so basic. Like,
So basic if you just do the. It's like a Christmas.
yeah, exactly.
I'm just. Great.
Anyways,
This is exciting.
just very choice, intentional selection of intervals gives it this iconic spirit. And it's just two trumpets like playing together. It's essentially taps in a way. It's just like
yeah.
snare,
what it is,
just
kind of,
sustained
yeah.
string. It's the same kind of energy. I'm gonna
God.
play a little bit through like. So what I played was the brass chorale, which only happens once in the middle of it. The main theme is is similar in that it uses like very basic harmonies, but I just want to show you where it could have been boring and replaceable, but he goes to an interesting harmonic place that like keeps it interesting in the scale. So like he's cruising along. Perfect phrase.
Perfect that
Pedal
you can play
point.
this, dude.
We got the G now.
Oh, and the bass. Oh, come on. And it changes.
Get some motion.
Yes. C.
And
Bass
then
changes.
this part goes to the median B minor.
Ah.
The seventh
Unbelievable.
sequence down. Could end here, but doesn't. Stays
Keeps
on
it
the 4.
going.
Keeps it going. To the 7th again. Finally lets it cadence.
Then the end. Dun, 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 dun.
Then the woodwinds take it over with the trumpets played. The perfect intervals.
Perfect. Unbelievable. Brass chorale. Then the brass chorale comes in. You know, it's like,
I can't do that again.
Yeah, that's the hardest part about all this is that like we're only playing the best stuff, and like so it's like you can't stop. You know, when we play the recording, you can't just stop when the brass comes in. You know, like how are you gonna just you gotta let it roll, but it's hard to just. So that's why everyone just has to listen to it. You know, you just gotta check it out. So, you know, we don't get blocked or whatever from the overlords. You know, because of copyright, because it's just like that needs to be heard. You know, and it's those musical trains that just start. It's like there's no getting off the musical train. You know, with these kinds of great pieces. You know.
Yeah. No, he's so brilliant about keeping it going, but also like the first phrase is just a 4-bar phrase that ends like it's so simple.
Oh,
but then the next time it keeps.
But it does end in that range too. So like up high in the bass, like it's not that low.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And then the next phrase starts low, right? You add the low
then he
octave.
starts getting it lower. That's where it could have been G, but then starts juicing it.
Oh my
But
God.
like usually that's it after like first 8 bars, that's where a composer would be like, okay, let's mix it up. Let's like go somewhere else harmonically,
Yeah,
keep it interesting.
harmonically.
He doesn't. Like he goes somewhere else harmonically, but it's within the scale. Like he frames it around B minor. So you get this new color.
Oh wow. Oh.
And then that again, you know.
That I was always
built
like,
on the
what
leading
is
tone.
this? What is this magic? Because I don't know, it's such a different sound from what we're used to. Like we don't hear that normally, you know.
No, usually because it has most of the
Is it
same
half
notes.
diminished?
Is like it's
Is that a
half diminished.
No.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, every great
tired of
composer
I'm sick of this, dude.
is intentionally utilizes half diminished chords at crucial moments. Something special about them.
That
And
is
first inversion
such-
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
first inversion is amazing, and Brahms has some great first inversions, but
Anyways, damn, I didn't intend for this to be such a bomb or for it to be so long.
but it's just I know, but
But-
dude, thank you for that. That was, and it's so cool that now you can just play it forever. You can play it now, and so it's like you practice it. You know, I don't know, probably because now you can do it for this, and like now you can just forever play it. And there's something about playing these things alone, just for yourself, no audience, and that's what this keyboard has been for me. It's unlocked this private space where I can make music so safely, and all these instruments and all the toys that we've got, and yeah, that's just the most beautiful place. That's just where I want to live, you know, constantly in that oven. I just have no interest in anywhere else. So, wow. All right. I mean, what
Your
a
turn.
huge- All right. Well, I had ideas, but yeah, I mean, I'm not like doing that, you know. But I think let's just change it completely.
Change it up completely, please. Yeah.
And yeah, I wasn't planning on doing this one at all, but last night I was just sort of rolling through stuff, and I got into some rabbit holes, and they took me places that compelled me. So here's a little phrase from something that feels like liftoff. Oh. That's and yeah, no good place
Oh
to
my
stop.
goodness.
But that's another sort of timeless one for me, you know, and I think so yeah, that's Avatar. That is the main theme from Avatar.
Which Avatar?
Yeah, not the Last Airbender, the Avatar, the first Avatar movie from 2009 with James Horner. And that one, I mean, that movie was very special, I think, for everybody, you know, because like that, you know, I have a lot of friends who are a lot younger than me now, you know, who are in their like early or mid 20s, but like we still talk about this movie and this music, and we'll listen to it, and we're like, you know, we're steeped in film music all the time or whatever, but we're still like, man, that is special. And it's so simple. What are the chords? Yeah. So simple. That's really pretty simple chords. It's E flat minor.
Can you do it again?
Yeah. And then the next one, it goes to... Oh. This is crazy. Right? This is an unbelievable phrase. Wow, these chords are crazy. So I'm just like
Can you
trying to
say what
remember
the
them as
chords
I'm
are?
playing them. Yeah, sorry. I just was like focusing all my energy on trying to play the right things. I'm like, oh God, what is this? So, yeah, at first it's an E flat minor. So it's E flat minor, A flat, which is the brightness of Dorian of the scale. Right, that's the C. Oops. And then that little B section. So we're in E flat minor firmly at the beginning, and then he goes to C minor, which has really no relation at all to E flat minor, right? So we're in. Oh god. Then that's C minor, yeah. B flat to F minor. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But this part's the really interesting part. C minor to F sharp major. So the melody is going down just by a fourth, which is interesting, but the harmonies are on different planets. B flat minor here. E major. And then it goes to A flat minor. And then it's like the phrase starts over again at some point.
Yeah.
But that's really cool.
That's extremely unusual because those are tritone relations, and it's two in a row, which I don't know if I've ever heard anywhere else in music.
Yeah, but it sounds so organic. It sounds so natural. Because like the difference, I mean, the C minor to the F sharp is a huge, in terms of the root, that's as far away as it gets in music, because that's whatever, however many, 7 half steps or something. But the way he wrote it,
yeah, the melody threads it so it sounds lyrical and organic. But if you were to just to play the chords, like you're wandering. Where are you going, dude?
Yeah, but the top note, even just the way you played it with the top voice, going to the right thing.
I know, I'm used to playing it that way. Yeah.
You're used to playing it, because it just feels so right. Anyway, so like that one's an amazing one, and there's that specific track is called "Becoming One of the People," which is sort of like it's the main track. But like I remember we were on the plane and we were listening to this, and the whole objective was like, all right, Joe was like, all right, I'm gonna try and time it so we hit lift off when the plane lifts off, right when the music lifts off. So let's imagine this again. Joe's just like, all right, let's see if we can time it. On an airplane, hanging on for dear life. Here's the C minor change. C minor. B flat. F minor. It feels like prayer. It feels religious in some way. Tritone, F sharp, B flat, minor. Wow. Oh man, it's so cool. And also just the world that movie made, and like the fantastical, like the sound of the music is amazing too, but it's also just the whole environment of Avatar, it's like that's one of those movies that can still draw people consistently to theaters and stuff. Like I watched the second Avatar with my dad in theaters. We went and saw it, 15 years later or whatever it was, and they have similar music. They have this, the guy who's doing the score now, because tragically James Horner died in like 2015 or something, but he had a guy who I guess was working on his team named Simon Fraglin, either as maybe a synth guy or an additional music person, but now Simon is doing the rest of the Avatar movies. So I was also surprised when I heard, because I know a little bit of James Horner's just rep as a composer, and I was surprised because Avatar is like what you might call hybrid score, meaning it like has acoustic elements where it's like a lot of orchestra, which is what James Horner did normally, and then it also then it like has a lot of these twinkly synth sort of sounds. Like listen to the beginning of this.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that because
oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, yeah. Is it?
But I'll play it when you're
synth, or is like I don't know how to say, like mbira or something.
What is that?
It's one of those African instruments that you pluck with your fingers, like kalimba, mbira, like
Oh,
they're a
kalimba.
similar
Yeah, maybe.
family.
Yeah. It's
Can you
gotta
play?
be.
It adds like a similar plucky sound.
Yes. So this is the beginning of that track.
It's like synthetic kalimba or something.
Yes. It probably is like a sampled sound. The beat. Dun, 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 dun. The boy singing. Come on, dude. Oh, the strings. Everything. All this color and texture. Oh, it sounds amazing. It's tribal in its feel. It's a little hard to stop it when it's on this train, dude. I don't know. Oh, man. Wait, we'll keep rolling. Oh, this line. Cellos. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. No. But, yeah, so that was, like, unusual for James Horner in my mind. I was like, because I heard him doing orchestral stuff, and, like, that's what he mostly did, was, like, orchestral or just, like, acoustic sounds. And so maybe Simon was involved. I'm just speculating. But in any case, Simon's doing the scores now. And they're very true to this legacy that James Horner sort of presented. And, like, it's just super inspiring music, and like the story.
Well, it makes sense to have a
visuals.
hybrid sound palette because you're trying to create this new world that borrows organic elements, but also otherworldly elements that are unfamiliar.
Yes.
So that's cool. Another thing that's sticking out to me on listening to this now is that the main melody is this female voice.
I think it might be a boy.
Is,
I think it's a young boy.
Yeah, I guess it's a boy. It just, but
Yeah.
that makes more sense actually, because it sounds young, it sounds innocent. They're not,
Yes.
it's like, it sounds a little raw too. Like there are moments
Yes.
like, like it sounds like
Yeah.
not
Like it's-
overproduced like pop music. It's not
Yes.
like super in front. It's just, it's not like with a ton of reverb out there. It's like surprisingly dry.
Yeah,
And it's like,
is.
it's really cool just to have basically a solo boy's voice essentially carrying the melody. It has this like innocence through this hybrid world.
Yeah. Oh man. And like this, we actually at USC we had to do an essay on a score. At the end, like one of our final projects was we had to just like do an essay on a film and talk about every cue in that film, and like every music cue, because in film music it's called music cues. So every cue we just like talk about what we like about it, whatever, just write a little blurb about it, and then our teacher would read it and he would learn about all these like our favorite scores and stuff. And I'm remembering I did Avatar and so I was given the opportunity through like school to just dive into it again in a little different way, and it was just so cool to then rewatch it and pay attention to how the music hits the picture, and like that big reveal da, 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 when the theme comes in or whatever happens on an important cut. And it's like, also pay attention to this. Notice like leading into the phrase of the melody, it's not a regular amount of bars. There's like an added 5/4 bar or something. And I wonder, now that I'm a film composer, I'm like, I wonder if that was because they were trying to hit picture. They're trying to like Probably, because like why else would you stop this train of 4/4 truth? But also it doesn't bother me because it's sort of, I mean, you can feel here. We'll listen to it, but you can feel there's something coming. So we're in 4 or whatever. Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Bum. You see that added beat? Wow. God, I love it so much. But yeah, I mean, why? I don't know. But it's just interesting. It makes the music feel different. It might have been to hit picture, probably was, but still works on its own, away from the picture, away from the movie, and I think that's one of the cool things about film scoring is that like, it is in a sense world building, and I think Hans Zimmer's definitely led the charge with this, where it's like, he would just make noises and then turn them into worlds. And then it's like I there's stuff don't have anything from Dune now, but at some point we should check out Dune, which has some amazing stuff. There's one track called Paul's Dream, which is sort of like a suite of all.
Yeah, we got to do that one.
Yeah, that one's just
Unbelievable.
ridiculous. And like, it's so impressive and inspiring that Hans is still coming up with just unique,
so creative,
just completely creative ideas, and it's just I've learned a lot about him, and he's also very honest about his use of team members and additional music people, and he's very generous. And so it's like all these composers that well, not all of them, but a lot of the big composers now, like Ramin Djawadi, he did Game of Thrones and Westworld and Three Body Problem, whatever new shows. He's the biggest. He's got the best gigs, but he was a Hans pupil, and he would just like get coffee back in the day when he was assistant for Hans and be in meetings, and then one day he maybe had an idea, and Hans was like, "Huh, maybe you don't suck," and then he started giving. Whoa. Yeah. All right. Nice. Dude, Ramin's really good. And like he has some really great themes. His music in Westworld is really cool. That's an amazing show. Due to studio politics, it's not even available to stream anywhere, which pisses me off to no end. Because I would watch that. It's a bummer. But anyways, like that's one of the things I really like about film scoring is that every movie's different, every project is different. And so it's like sometimes it doesn't need to reinvent the wheel, sometimes it just needs this, but like sometimes you can really tell a story through sound, and Avatar does that, and the best scores do that. Even Hymn to the Fallen does that.
I was just gonna say, dude, I was just gonna tie it back.
Yeah. So it's like, even you can use 1-4-5-1, and change the world if you're John Williams.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, God.
Or
Anyways,
you can use
Avatar.
crazy tritone melodies and what is it again? Like it's so cool because like it's another world. I mean, it's another world harmonically too. It's not rooted in a place that It's that we're somewhere else, which that's what Avatar is.
Yeah, think about the chord quality. C minor chord to a major chord. So it's C minor to F sharp major. So everything is different. Like it's as far away as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And then B flat, same exact thing, just down a whole step, right? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you're in another planet now. You're somewhere else.
Because different chord quality. That's amazing.
But if you're here.
So
like you just right here. God, it's all
music
harmony,
is all right. I'm just pissed off. I'm not having fun. I have a quiz for you. All right.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
It's just a one-off quiz. You got to tell me what this is, and I don't know if you'll get it, but
is this your second bomb? What is this?
No, this is just an adjunct quiz, so no problem. Do you have thoughts?
I know what I want to say it is.
What do you say it?
Page Master?
Yes, dude. It's Page Master. That's so ridiculous. The sound effect's so cheap. Just dudes that are that is so funny because forever we've had this recurring bit about the Page Master. Yeah, because like I remember, I don't know what it was. Yeah, it was 15 years ago or something when we first met. Like we were talking about this, and like I played something or we listened to something, and you were like, "Huh, sounds like Page Master," but you didn't even remember the movie. Like I remember I watched it as a kid, but like I didn't remember the movie really. And then I heard it and I was like, he's right. It does sound like Pagemaster. And then I don't even remember what the movie's about, but yeah. So I figured that was worth sharing because we haven't
That's
heard
amazing because Avatar uses that same gesture, a minor to major 4, you know, also.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Man, nice.
So,
nice.
Pagemaster gesture.
Page
Minor 1
Master.
to major 4, just like opens it up.
Yeah. And when I was a kid at 6 years old watching this, I was like, you know, I hear this. Something else, you know. I'm not.
It's just so imaginative.
I'm in a new world now.
It just opens up your
magical.
imagination. Yeah.
And it feels, it does feel like imagination. And then it's like, so, you know, we don't even need the rest of it, but it's still just,
wow.
It's so crazy that musical moment had such an impact on both of us that when we were in college and we learned about what music actually is, we were like, I feel Pagemaster.
Wow, that's so
Isn't that crazy?
Because we knew the feeling as a kid. Like if you're seeing these like animated, colorful, like lucid books that are like talking to you but like that feeling was imprinted onto us such that when we heard it later, like that feeling is what I felt as a child when I watched Pagemaster.
Yes. And you know who said that? Stravinsky. Like you said, my music is best understood by children and animals. Oh my God,
dude.
Because it's just felt.
Okay. God,
too much full circle.
I don't know if we're going to get through this BYOB. I'm
I know.
just like bombed so much already.
And this again, I didn't plan to share this, Bob. I just discovered it last night. I was like, dude. And then I was like, oh, Avatar, what about Pagemaster? What does that sound like? And then I knew, and then it's crazy that you knew what it was, you know, and you haven't heard that since you were 5, 7, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but you were like, that's Pagemaster. And did you know that it was written by Horner as well, James Horner?
No, it was written by him?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
The same guy who wrote Avatar, which you just showed, wrote Pagemaster? Unbelievable.
Pagemaster,
dude,
1994.
Gold medal factoid.
Yeah, dude. So man, good for you, James. You know, thanks for your service. Wow. So I'm pretty much that's pretty much it for this for this bomb.
Oh my God. Okay. Well,
that's so exciting. You didn't know it was him. Yeah, of course you didn't know. Well, I don't know why I would expect that, but yeah. So
that's incredible,
same dude, giving us that magic from day one. You know, God bless him.
Wow.
All right, so
God bless.
Next up is no problem.
Holy moly. We'll see how all this goes. This is our first time trying this.
I know. We're just
what we might end up doing is like we were talking about like just chopping up the sections into shorter videos, but like
and that's just
or
easier.
even pairs because I think it's cool to do like Saving Private Ryan and Avatar as a pair, you know. So like, we'll think about how to chop it up.
Accident. I don't even know what we're doing, but I'm having fun. How are you?
All right, I'm doing good. Let's keep it rolling,
I'm great.
baby. All right, I'm gonna change it up as much as possible.
I'm so scared. All right. I'm ready.
Okay, let me know if you can see this. I'm going to tell you, I can't see you, so I'm just going to go off audio, but I'm going to tell you a little story. So when we lived in Jacksonville, Florida together, I was going to get a haircut at like, I don't know, just some basic place. And I was chatting with the barber and she was just like, oh, like, what do you do? Whatever. I'm like, oh, I do music stuff. And she's like, okay, like, what music do you like? And I'm like, well, I like classical.
How much time you got?
And I like soul and funk music. Like those are my two genres.
No.
And she's like, oh, honey, I got to show you something. And so she, she recently saw this video on Facebook at the time that was going around of someone, I don't know how they did this, some engineer got just the vocal stem of Marvin Gaye singing Heard It Through the Grapevine.
What?
And she played it for me on her phone, just like on Facebook, on her phone in the barber shop, and it changed my life. And I'll just play a little bit of it for you.
All right.
Ooh, I bet you're wondering how I knew about your plans to make me blue with some other guy you knew before. Between the two of us guys, you know I love you more. It took me by surprise, I must say, when I found out yesterday. Don't you know that I heard it through the grapevine? Not much longer would you be mine.
Wow.
Oh, I heard it through the grapevine. Oh, I'm just about to lose my mind. Honey, honey, well.
Oh, God. Oh, that's really cool, dude. That is really interesting. That is so interesting because it's just like there's so much vibe behind this. You know, there's so much feel behind this performance already, and you know, wow, that's incredible. And what a treasure to be able to have just that stem. You know, just the vocal
my God.
alone. I have an interesting story and tidbit that I've learned about how production was done back in the day.
Yeah, tell me.
May I? Yeah, may I chime in? So basically, you hear this reverb when he's singing, and the way they used to do reverb is they would take the audio. So he's probably in a booth singing somewhere because they want absolute control, but they send his audio out through an audio cable or whatever analog garbage through an audio cable into a different room, which is a chamber. It's like it can be like a stairwell or something where they have an amp. And they have an amp that's amplifying the sound, and they record that room sound. So that's what we're hearing. So if we go back, just play a couple seconds of it, you can hear the reverb. That's the that's like the room sound and the stairwell sound.
I know a man ain't supposed to cry, but these tears I can't hold inside.
It sounds like it might be a plate reverb. I'm not really sure, but I know they did used to do that with and plate reverbs. I think it might have even come from a metal plate shape, like vibrating, because that's kind of what this sounds like. You know, but I don't know how they did it. They might have had to like touch it to the plate, and then I don't know what. But it's so crazy how they used to do it in the analog days, and I can kind of feel that. When I hear that old music and the old production and stuff, I'm like, oh man, it's just, it all has a place. You know, it all has a place in our hearts. You know, all this stuff is just belongs here. And do you have the full one? Of the
Yes, yeah.
song?
So I have the
But
full
now
one
you
too.
can hand it
I
over.
want to do some ABs against it, but
Yeah, cool.
I want to because you picked up on a thread that was actually the most inspiring thing to me about listening to this. So like when she showed me this, I went home, I listened to it like 20 times in a row. I was unbelievably floored by this. And then the thing at the time, and this is like before I knew anything about music production, but I still had an intuition. I'm like, how many audio transformations has this been through since it was recorded in Motown in 1967? Like you're saying, like they like funnel it out to like reverb in the hall, put it to like tape. Someone has to get the stem, analog to digital, digital to analog, uploaded to Facebook with compression, played through an iPhone in Jacksonville in 50 years later. And the craziest thing to me is I listen to it and the soul hits me in the chest every time. And it's like, what's like so inspiring to me about this is that despite all of the audio transformations this has been through since he first sang it in 1967, the soul persists, you know, because every time there's a change, like anytime a file goes through something, there's audio degradation. It just happens naturally.
Sure.
But what isn't degraded is the soul. Like despite it sounding grainy and old and all that, it's like you hear the truth. It comes through so you feel it so loud.
You feel it.
And it's like, so it was so inspiring to me because I'm like, there's like the digital information and the audio, but then there's something else that comes through. And that's his spirit. That's his soul. And he had it in spades. You know, him, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
God.
Their soul just transcends time, transcends file type or whatever. It just,
production.
Timeless. It just goes through. You don't need to have all these vocal chains and everything. It's just like, dude, just put your soul into it, put your heart into it. And like, I still feel it 50 years later. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. Yes. It's just a rocket straight to your heart. And that's that's just art at its highest level, kind of, I was watching YouTube videos last night about Leonardo da Vinci, and I was just like spiraling in this crazy rabbit hole of like learning about artists and just like how Da Vinci and Michelangelo. I read The Agony and the Ecstasy. I don't know if you know this book, but it's like a giant sort of a biography of Michelangelo, and so it's like I haven't even finished. It's like 900 pages. I read 500, and I was inspired, but I was like, this is pretty long, so I stopped.
You read 500 pages. That's a lot.
I read 500 pages, yeah, and but yeah, it's just I'm getting a lot of inspiration from these older people before the world that we live in now, which there's a lot of wonderful things about the world we live in now, meaning I can be here in the West Coast and you can be in Austin and we can have this conversation and we can play our keyboards and you can hear everything. And it's like, that's incredible. And so there's so many amazing things about the modern world too, I think that are often overlooked because there's also negative things. But I think, and we've talked a little bit about this, a lot of the wisdom that has existed over time, we're still like it all still applies to our lives now. Like we were talking about Ray Bradbury a couple days ago, who's an author who's a huge inspiration to me, who I've recently rediscovered. But like I just think it's I just love that, and I love how like when we look at these old videos of Marvin Gaye from whenever that was 70s or earlier, 50s,
yeah,
I don't
late
know,
60s, early 70s,
Motown, yeah. So God, yeah. But do you want to do A-B? So I'm just like derailing.
Yeah. Because what I found, I mean, I'll just play it first before I tell you my opinion.
Yes,
but I'm going to play the just right on the actual produced track.
If you hit
just
F,
for a little bit.
it goes full screen, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to play the audio.
Cool.
Okay.
I bet you wondering how I knew about your plans to make me blue with some other guy you knew before. Between
Dude,
the two of us guys,
nothing like this.
I love you more. It took me by surprise, I must say. When I
the vocals.
found out yesterday, don't you know that I heard it through the grapevine? Not much longer would you be mine. Oh, I heard it through the grapevine. Oh, I'm just about to lose my mind. Honey, well.
Wow, dude. That is so goddamn groovy. Pisses me off. It's just wow, that and like, also listening to that full mix. Oh yeah, and then send it. Play this.
Yeah, so now I want to A-B it against just him singing a cappella.
Ooh, I bet you're wondering how I knew about your plans to make me blue with some other guy you knew before. Between the two of us guys, you know I love you more. It took me by surprise, I must say, when I found out yesterday. Don't you know that I heard it through the grapevine? Not much longer would you be mine. Oh, I heard it through the grapevine.
Wow.
Oh, I'm just about to lose my mind. Honey, well.
Oh my goodness. That's just
God.
That is so incredible, dude. It's so full of vibe. So much vibe, staggering amounts of vibe, and
I can't believe it. In some ways I prefer it, because it's just him and you feel the whole song just in how he sings it. Like you feel the groove.
Yeah, I feel it. I hear it all.
The essence of the song is just in that one part,
Yeah, he carries so much vibe and energy in that. That's amazing. And when we hear the full one, then it's also incredible because it's so groovy and you hear all the parts and can we hear the full one again? Listen to the vocals in the right ear. There's some background female vocals. And also, here's a question or a topic, because I wonder, because this is obviously stereo. Are you playing a remastered version, or Because like I wonder if maybe
I
this
don't
was
know.
I wonder if this was mono ever, because some of the older music in Motown was mono, and so what that means is basically the sound. If if you have headphones on, it sounds like what you hear in the left ear is the exact same as what comes out of the right ear. But now in modern music we have stereo, which is a lot wider, so you can hear different things. So you can pan things left and right. Because I heard those vocals pan to the right, and I was like, oh, that's cool, but also, is that what the original sounded like, you know? And I didn't know what quote unquote remastered meant back in the day, because I didn't know what any of that stuff was. But now I have a different idea of what it means, you know, to have a remastered track. And I wonder if maybe this is part of that. So anyways, yeah, play it again and we'll listen to, if you got headphones in or whatever, you can really tell of what's coming out the left or right ears, you know? So why don't you roll it again, just the full thing.
I bet you wondering how I knew. I'm trying to make me blue.
Rhodes in the right ear? Whirly?
You knew before.
Rhodes? I don't know what it is.
Two of us.
What's that?
Is it Rhodes or Whirly in the right ear? I hear something in the right ear.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Can you see me? Is your pop up there? I don't know.
No, your pop-up isn't there.
Okay, it's not a problem. Yeah. Fine.
Should I let it roll?
Yeah, roll it for however long. Yeah, just play the phrase.
I bet you wondering how I knew. I'm chosen hands to make me blue. With some other guy you knew before. Between the two of us guys, you know I love you more. It took me by surprise.
Oh yeah. Ooh, vocals right here. Yeah. Oh my God. Wow.
All the drums are on the left too.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird. I feel like that's probably not how it originally was. You know, it might have been mono originally, but just something to keep in mind for when we play older stuff. Like, yeah, maybe we could even A/B the stereo versus the remastered versus the mono versions. You know, in the DAW, that would be kind of cool to switch between them.
Sure.
But yeah, wow. I mean, nice, dude. Okay.
I'm gonna do one more thing.
Yes, please send.
Because I was trying to figure like what's the best version of this. Because I'm like, okay, there's a cappella, which I think is the best, by the way, just him.
Yeah.
And then there's that mix.
TBH.
But I'm like, I want to be a part of it, so I'm gonna play along with him, and we'll just see like what the vibe is like.
Oh wow.
I know a man ain't supposed to cry, but these tears I can't hold inside. Losing you would end my life, you see. 'Cause you mean that much to me. You could have told me yourself that you loved someone else. Instead I heard through the grapevine. Not much longer would you be mine. Oh, I heard it through the grapevine. And I'm just about to lose my mind. Honey, honey, well.
Oh! Where's my applause button? Oh man. You're telling me that in this modern era, you can jam with Marvin Gaye, who's dead, and I can be a part, I can listen to this, you know, I can just be on my computer, sitting here, like, all right. This is ridiculous. That's cool, dude. That's so cool that you can jam with him. You know, honestly, like I feel like there've been many times with music and the people who make the music where it's like I feel such a strong connection to the music that I feel like they're speaking to me. You know?
Absolutely, 100%.
And we're talking. You know, like we're conversing and they're sharing.
Absolutely.
I know it's one way, but God tells me otherwise, you know. Awa
Yes.
tells me otherwise, you know. But so and I felt that with like Tchaikovsky, Mahler, you know, like there have been times where I'm just like I'm just walking around New York City and like depressed or whatever, but then I'm playing Tchaik 6 and I'm just like, you know, this guy knows my pain or whatever, you know, and it's just such an inexplicable transcendental experience of like what it means to just, I don't know, exist. And like,
Yeah,
I feel like
there's this concept of like the relationship between the hyper personal and the transcendent, where it's like the things that we perceive as transcendent always feel pertinent and relevant. Where like you can be walking through New York City and depressed and like so it's a very different setting. But then someone, another time and place, wrote something that was very personal to their own experience, you know?
Yes.
But there's something about like being so honest about the way you see the world and the way you're feeling, that if you're that in tune with the core, the hyper-personal is actually the thing that transcends over time.
Oh my God, dude. Melodica, man.
Bombs away.
Straight internet clowns, like there's a hyper transcendental. Oh my God. But absolutely, you know, and like I think that's part of what's inspiring about like even just reading, you know, and like just music is it's only one avenue versus like reading, and like you can like relate to stories and like you see a bit of yourself in them, and then you feel even more connected with the author, and same with any type of art, you know. And I just think that's so incredible. And you know, we're swapping between like Marvin Gaye, Avatar, Tchaikovsky, you know, but it's all the same bag of just truth, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
And that's what's so amazing about just everything, all these bombs. This is unbelievable. My mind is blown
We're halfway
by
through.
these bombs.
Holy moly.
I'm not gonna make it, dude. I can't make it. I'm not gonna last. Okay, well, I don't even know. Okay, I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay. What am I gonna do? Okay, I'm just gonna pick what's ever in front of me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sorry, keep doing it. But I'll give a little preface for this. This is a film score. This is called, it's from the movie called The Menu, which is an amazing, it's like a horror movie. And the composer's name is Colin Stetson, and he's just ridiculously creative. And it's a horror movie, but it's like, you don't expect it. It just starts as these guys, all these like rich elitist people go to a dinner. The guy who plays the head chef, it's sort of a culty vibe from this head chef. And it's the guy who plays Voldemort, Ralph Fiennes. Ralph,
yeah.
And he's just an amazing actor. And he's so compelling in this movie. And the girl who plays the lead in Queen's Gambit, Anya Taylor-Joy, I think is her name. She's the main actress in this. And this movie like really made an impact on me. It came out a couple years ago and I watched it last year and I was like, what the I mean, the music is super creative and interesting, but basically in this scene, I'm not going to ruin everything, but I'll just give you the gist in case anyone wants to watch it. But the culty chef, he's being kind of weird and religious in a freaky way, and all these like really elitist people are being served dinner and stuff. But then it starts to go sideways, and like all this like weird stuff happens where I don't know, just it gets really crazy and dark. And so this track is called "Fallen Angel." It's about 2 minutes. It's kind of hard to stop the train once it starts going, you know, so I might let it roll, but we'll play it by ear. And here it is. Already, where are we? It's just like drones, but atmosphere. World building. A pulse begins and continues. vocals. Percussion. Okay. And this is how it ends. Okay. Thoughts? Uh-oh. Oh god. But wow, right?
Oh
Isn't
my
that-
God.
Isn't that what a crazy journey, you know?
Oh my
And you
God.
had no idea what was coming. Because I didn't really, I guess I didn't tell you anything about what it was going to sound like.
No.
But yeah, no, no, you didn't. No preparation. But that wasn't that amazing? And like,
Oh my God.
it's minimalist, but it's about texture. And so you see, this is kind of what I mean in terms of like, this is really creative music. You know, this is
So
super creative and inventive. And he's just like, that's what's really cool about like film music sometimes is if you're given the right opportunity and the right project, you can really run with it, you know, and you can just, and here's what's crazy. I'm going to play a little bit in the middle. I'm just going to do a needle drop just to play for a second. And hello. Okay, here we go. So listen for when the pulse comes in. These harmonies get crazy. So hard to stop the train when you're on it, dude. Like, it's hard. Okay, there we go. The train's fine. The train's fine. We're fine. I'm fine. Then the strings come in. Dot, 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 dot. It's like minimalist, but it just builds. And dude, when I watched, because I'd heard this music before, because I really loved the score. The whole thing's ridiculous. But I knew the score, but then I watched the movie and this music came in, and I saw what it was written for, and that's honestly like a really interesting experience, because then it's like what we were talking about with Fawn, where it's like you read the poem that Debussy was inspired by, you know, and so it's like I hear the music first of Colin Stetson's music, and I'm like, this is unbelievable, you know, what's happening? And then I see it in the movie, and I'm like, Jesus, what is going on? You know, it's such a big moment, and it's like I see sort of maybe why he did this, but also it's just I don't know. It's just really a cool experience. Sometimes I listen beforehand. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just go in and I'll watch it, I do that more where I'll just watch it cold without listening to the score before, because I'm trying to get the initial reaction as the audience member. Because that's what I'm trying to replicate when I'm doing my own stuff. When I'm doing my scores, you only have that first moment once, that initial reaction of like, if you're trying to hit a joke, if you're trying to do whatever. But one thing that's interesting about this, about Colin, is that he's, so this score, I mean, you're listening to this crazy thing, but it actually, I'll just play 5 seconds of it or whatever. It's featuring saxophone. Did you hear that when you first listened?
The
saxophone?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't even pick up that it was a saxophone, because like as a film
I didn't
composer,
really think about it as a saxophone. I just heard it. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's an interesting sound.
Yes, right. It just felt like a compelling sound, And saxophone, like when we're using like MIDI saxophone or whatever demoing, it's like it's often overlooked as an instrument because nobody like knows how to use it, including myself. Like I've never really used saxophone, but he plays saxophone, so he does all this crazy stuff, and so he's playing this stuff himself, I'm pretty sure. And I'll play you one clip from Hereditary, which is another film of his that this track went viral and has been in reels and stuff, so I wonder if you'll recognize it. But it's just this amazing moment from another horror movie he did, also featuring the saxophone, but I think it's a lot more distorted and like more distorted effects. This track is called Reborn from Hereditary. So these drones, and he's got bells. Saxophone. He's playing saxophone. You hear it. So where on earth am I? But that's a saxophone. I think it's a saxophone. I'm not positive, but it's now knowing that he's a saxophone guy, and I think it's just tons of distortion, tons of reverb, modulating it as it goes. But he's playing, and it's part of the organicness of him playing it that makes it such an interesting sound source to then put effects on, and then it just lives on its own. So he's just done some great stuff, and I recommend definitely checking out that score as well. But the menu is the move. I mean, it's crazy. So there you go.
It's interesting. I've never heard any of this before in my life, but those, like when I think about if someone said, hey, we need music for a horror film, my first intuition isn't to have like drones and then like interesting vocal textures and ambient percussion around it, and
it's melodic stuff, tonal. Like this is I think this whole thing's in D flat. Yeah, right. It's a lot of D flat drone, D flat major. Some of that in that like lay, whatever. Oh my God, same key. All right, whatever. That's La Mer, but no problem. Wow, that's all right. Anytime
for me, I mean, I don't know really anything about the world of film music, but my naive notions of it is that it breaks genre conventions. You think about like a horror film, like 10 strings and then moments, and this feels very different.
It is different, and it makes the movies feel very different too, and it makes them feel like The Menu in particular. This music, like it's like it's major chords or whatever. It's sometimes majestic, which makes it even more disturbing when you see what's happening on screen, especially in that moment. That moment happens at the end, and it's like this super disturbing, like, what is going on moment. And the music is like sort of ethereal, but like, and major keys, but like weird, and like, but it's not what you expect for a horror movie, And there are many other cues that are more horror-y of what you think of, but I love how people are so creative about, the filmmakers and then the composers and the whole everybody, the army that makes these movies or whatever. It's just if you're all like pointing towards the same thing and have the same kind of vision, it's like then you just start trying stuff and see what happens and see what works. And that's so inspiring to me, God, yeah. So there's some bombs. I don't know.
Holy moly.
Crazy diversity.
Yeah, I could see how, depending on what would be going on screen, that could be very disturbing and unsettling.
Yeah, because of the sort of major keyness of it. It's like you're just. Those are the intervals that he's playing. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. But it's just the soundscape is so dynamic and just moving constantly, and it's just like creates this. Yeah. So it's really cool. And man, and Hereditary was a cool movie too. Oh, there you go.
Oh, I'm curious. This might open up too big of a can of worms for now, but I feel like a huge difference between, say, the classical film scores of John Williams and modern stuff that's, maybe in like the Zimmer tradition, if you can call it that, is like John Williams is steeped in classical music. He orchestrates it. He writes it pen and paper. But more modern film music is more textural and ambient.
Yeah.
It's not like you're writing parts for an orchestra. You're trying to create these soundscapes. At least that's how it appears to me from the outside.
Yes. Well, I totally. I mean, and that's with the examples I've shown you. But I'll show you other examples throughout this whatever, which will blow your mind again, and be completely unrelated and completely different. God, yeah. So I think what's also exciting is that, like, when one thinks of film music, and you're talking to a guy who's studied film music now at this point, and whose buddies are all film guys, and so it's like we're steeped in this. So we have an idea of what film music is, but then things show up that just totally throw a wrench in everything. And it's like, wait, that works. There are no rules. And that's what's so cool. It can be classical, it can be Mozart, it can be John Williams, it can be these crazy pads, it can be Hans Zimmer, it's just like, it can be really tiny and ticky and small sounding and not ambient, and I have dozens of examples of all of these, which will wait. Yeah, so but we will unpack that bag very slowly because it's too big to unpack in one day, But maybe
but I love that it breaks the rules in some way.
It does, yeah. I mean, and like in some ways, it also can be incredibly generic because there's this thing called temp music, which is temporary music that's put in the film. So when the director and editor are working on it, score is always like the last thing because you can just always fix it in the edit. But visuals and the shots and the color and the edit, you have to do that first, So they put in temporary music, temp music, and then you'll have, like, if I have this Hereditary or like this stuff put in as temp music, I'm terrified because it's like, how am I supposed to beat that? Like, if I'm doing some random short for like $500, and Hans Zimmer gets $2 million per movie or whatever, I'm like, how am I going to compete with Dune? But it's just to give you a sense. So in some ways, temp music can lead to film music being very generic, but there are outliers. There are people who lean into their creative ideas, and Teddy Shapiro does that. Theodore Shapiro, who did Severance, which, my roommate works for him, and as his assistant, and it's just like, I don't know, I'm obsessed with that show too. We'll talk about that show at some point, because it must be done. But yeah, dude, nice bombs. This is pretty
bombs.
Good.
All right,
I'm enjoying this,
my
dude.
last one is gonna be lighthearted.
Okay, go ahead, send.
And I have pretty much nothing to say about it other than I'll play a little bit of it, and then I actually want to play through with it for you, but I'll just play like the first part.
Great, yeah, cool. So good. Ooh. Oh. This is. Are you kidding me? That is so good, dude. I haven't heard that since we played, like since 2016 or something.
Yeah.
God, what's it called? And who does it? I forgot.
It's Beggarman Jig by the High
Right.
Kings.
The High Kings, right? Yeah, and like I don't really know a lot of their stuff, dude. Come on, that is, and it's a short track, you know.
Yeah, it's like a
but
minute and a half.
What a great, just so much energy and so much life. You know, that's like the opposite of DAW music, like computer music. You know? It's
Yes,
just-
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have this one, like, I was looking at their other tracks on the album, and it's just like, top of the morning to you, da 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 da. It's just like these Irish dudes, and it's so, like, analog, and they're just in the bar, basically. And, they're dun, 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 and you're like, dude, I feel that, man. I feel that.
I'm with you.
I'm
in
with
the pub.
you, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, cheers. Pint.
Cheers to the pub, dude. That's so funny. Oh my god. Wow. That's great. All right, go ahead. Send.
Yeah, I have really nothing to say about it other than I love it.
Yeah.
You introduced it to me a long time ago.
Mhm.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play along with it, and we'll see how good I can
Because
play
we
with
used to
it.
do that all the
Yep.
time, didn't? Yeah, we would just
Yep.
jam on the street before we had made any videos. You know, we were at Vashon Island, and like we were just at the Strawberry Festival, and we were just jamming these two like homeless guys clowning around with melodicas, jamming on this song. And no wonder we jammed on it, dude. Come on,
Dude, it's a vibe. It's a
It's
vibe.
such a vibe.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know what sound to play it on. I might do just piano so you can hear it, or
What
I
about
also might do
harpsichord?
guitar.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's fine. Yeah, whatever, dude.
Yeah. All right.
Guitar works. Yeah.
I'm just gonna rip it.
All right, good luck.
Whole thing. One shot.
No pressure. Yeah, I did rip it. Oh man. Oh, come on, baby. Oh, yes. Boom. The bass. Oh. Wow. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh. Wow, yes! 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 Bass. The
girl.
ending, it just, oh, dude, the dog's going crazy. She's like,
Yeah,
why are we
she
jamming
loves
so
it.
hard, Dad? He's like, what's the vibe? I want to get in on this, dude. Let me in on this event. That's
Dude, I
why.
love that.
I know, that's amazing. And this is why I want the dog to hear the music sometimes. Because, like, you know what I mean? Oof. Oh. God. Oh. Nice, dude. Yeah. That's, man, maybe I'll learn that. That's the right hand one.
It's
You just,
so
like,
fun, dude. It's
and
so.
it's
I
fun
just
to
do
just-
right hand. It's so
yeah,
fun.
and just jam and then improvise over it, you know, and then just
Mhm.
like we did. Because didn't we would improvise a little bit, I think, over, or did we just play it? I can't remember. Whatever.
I don't know. We were just jamming.
Yeah. Oh man, that is incredible. Wow. Maybe prepare that for our rollout at the end of this, because that might
Okay,
be a
yeah,
nice
yeah.
way to end it. You know.
Sure.
That's awesome. What a great addition. So, okay, I guess is this my third one now?
Last one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Wow. Huh. Okay. Well, so, I have a million other things prepared, which we'll get to some other day, but it's funny, I didn't even get to any of the ones that I intended on doing, because I was just, constantly. Okay, so the spirit of, fear and overcoming anxiety. I
Okay.
think for this last one, I'm gonna actually play this thing, which is my new instrument, which is the Tonverk, which you can see. Oh, I can see, right. Oh, wait, Mamma Mia.
There he is.
There it is. There you go. Now. Okay, so this instrument is, I just got it about a month ago, and it's called the Electron Tonverk. Tonverk. And
Tonverk.
it's, oh, nice. It's a sampler, meaning every sound that you use is a sample, and then you can just basically do a lot of effects to it. And so I've been using, it's a tiny little box. I have a battery. I take it up to my roof. I use it right here in this recliner. I play with that on my balcony. I play with this everywhere. I take it to my mom's house because it's this little, it feels like a PlayStation, and it's a very hard thing to use at first. I've had it for about a month and a half, and I'm still sort of a beginner with it, but it's really cool. And what I love about it is that it takes you places that you don't expect. When I get more confident with it, we might even just roll, where you give me like a recording of you doing Tonverk, and then I turn it into something. I would love to do that. I'm just not good enough yet. I'm not fast enough with it. But I would like to just play this like minute-long thing and then deconstruct it. So I want to show you first the sounds that come, that are the sources. So there's only 3 samples that I'm using. Is this gonna work? Oh wow, that's one of them. Okay, so that's the sample. That's the sound source that I was given. Kind of a janky little, not a good sound. But, and then there's another one. So that's the other one. So those are our 3 sounds. Okay, we'll play them again. Okay, so that is all I was given, and it's really creativity thriving in limitations. And so there's 8 tracks that I can use these samples with and futz with them. So I'll start also twiddling knobs and maybe doing stuff live to see what happens, just and changing the sound. But it's pretty cool. So now you've heard, what is it? Those are our sounds. I guess I'll see you later. Okay. Kind of sick from from this to
How did you make the bass sound?
Oh, okay. So let's see. That was the bass sample. It was this, and I dropped it a couple octaves, and it turns into this. dropped it some octaves, gave it some. So if I roll this, just the bass. Let's see what I was doing. And then I can filter it. Turn it up a bit. You can do all kinds of stuff. So you can do really weird stuff. And then I had another track that's just doing pulses. You know? And then there's, of course, this guy. This is cool. That's cool. What is that? I don't know. I just tweaked and got there. I don't know what's happening. It's super ambient now. It used to be very plucky. I don't know. I don't even know how to get back. I don't know what I'm doing. Whoa. Distortion? All right. Now I'm going to go back, open the main thing again.
So
but,
I don't know anything about this. Are you triggering loops that you've pre-made, or like what are you doing?
Yes, that's what I'm doing. So it's got a little keyboard here, which is really nice. I don't need my. I can play it actually with my Nord, where I can like control the sounds. But usually I'm just away from a keyboard. I'm just wherever, and there's a little keyboard right here, so I can program in notes. Like okay, on this, like for that ARP, I'm gonna play the ARP. Those are all notes that I had to program pretty tediously, like, so I have to change octaves and stuff, you know, here, but I've already programmed that in, and then it's real. The fun begins with this kind of thing. Same with the Mini Freak. When you're sequencing something, so like when when we use it in the computer or in Logic or Cubase or whatever, that's a sequencer. So what this is also a sequencer, so you can write in all these notes and just play them back. So the fun happens when you put in a sequence, you don't even know what it is. For me, I had that idea of just the... That's actually really hard to do in real time, because I'm having to change octaves as well, like up an octave and down. But... yeah. So I programmed it, and then I just let that roll, and messed around with the sound, reverb, add more reverb, make it have a slower attack. Cool. Interesting.
So,
yeah, what's up?
What can you say? What parameters you're changing?
Yeah, my bad. Let me go back to the init. But basically, I'll just walk you through exactly what I'm doing as I'm doing it. But again, the pulse is the most fun one to start with, you know, because that's like that's the meat of the composition, I guess. You know, because this is a piece of music now, and I was just farting around with these horrible samples, and it turns into. So here I'm gonna add reverb. So that's cranking the reverb. I'll turn it down a bit. Now I'm taking the amplitude and I'm making it be less plucky at the beginning. So it's a slower attack. Whoa. Oh, and there's some weird pops in there because it's just lost in the sauce. Now, oh God. Now I'm making it more of a ramp up in volume, so it goes whoop, and then it gets really interesting because you have an envelope. I mean, this is getting kind of technical, but like you have an envelope which is attack, decay, sustain, release for your volume, your amplitude, and your filter, which is just the. Let's see if I can show the filter in a clear way. The filter is basically if I filter out all the high notes, it gets muffled like this. So it's just like you're deciding how fast the filter acts, basically. So again, it's like it's taken me a while to even like wrap my head around it, but the fact that I'm just like poking around and like I'm just making noises that are kind of interesting and like meditative and like I'll show you. I'm afraid to even play this because there's one that I did called Nebulous Wandering, which is the one that I did on Saturday, and I had no plan to do anything, but I just found a sample. Not that. None of these either. Apparently I programmed that too. I don't even know what's happening, dude. So this is the sound that I discovered initially. And that's with all the effects and stuff. So it wasn't that initially, but it was close to this. So just an ambient sort of pad. And then I guess I added a fifth. Oh, yeah. And then what if you hold that bottom note and just move other notes? And then I thought there was something cool in that. And I was like, huh. And so I put in that sequence and I let it roll. And then it turned into something, I think. Hear that? And this is all just emerging from experimenting, you know, and messing around with the sounds we've got. But it's turning into music, you know? And oh, wow. Yeah. That's the gist of it, you know. But picture me, it's like 9 a.m. on a Saturday, and I'm just on the roof and like looking at downtown LA, and then I'm just sort of farting around, but then this starts happening, and then it turns into an actual piece of music, and then I'm just staring at the moon, and I'm just like, holy sweet Jesus, you know. But that's, I don't know. I find these kinds of things very inspiring. You know, these little toys that you can take anywhere, and again, it's like developing. It takes a long time to learn, and I still haven't gotten there. But it's a relationship. You know, I'm building a relationship with this instrument that's gonna. Who knows how it's gonna inspire me later or affect me. You know, but I'm really compelled by the things that I've been able to do with it. One of which is just that little sound you heard that was just like a flopping. Yeah, up an octave. This guy. So that's all programmed. Like I made the pitch go down at regular intervals. I can speed it up. I don't know what's happening. If you go really crazy with how far the pitch goes up, now I'm gonna make it really fast, and it's gonna go up a crazy amount. It can turn into clicking. Turn off the reverb, I don't know. See what happens. Oh God, not that. You know. So it's a crazy little instrument, you know, and like not everything I make sounds good on it, but it takes you places, and that's what I like, you know. And it's also something that I've got a little case, I can just take it anywhere, you know. And I thought it would be cool to share something like that, just because I've been getting hardcore into these kinds of things, you know, and seeing what they can do to just my life and like how they inspire me and how they change every day, you know. And so it's like, yeah, I just figured that was worth sharing, you know. Kind of a cool little nugget. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it's really cool. Do you want to go back to like the main camera with the? Because it's kind of hard to hear you. I know like the post production will fix the audio.
Oh yes.
What's interesting to me from the outside, again, knowing nothing about this world, is how instruments can influence the creative process.
Yes.
So I think about the first thing you shared about the composer who his instrument, or one of them, is saxophone.
Yeah.
Which he's, you know, sampling, he's distorting, he's, you know, but it and then like the melodic lines that come from that, I kind of strongly suspect that you would stumble upon those kinds of lines because of the idiosyncratic nature of each instrument. You know what I mean?
Whatever's idiomatic to your instrument.
Right. It like structures how you think and feel and experience music. It's like through a specific channel in a way.
Yes.
But what's fascinating about the Tonverk is that, well, I actually have a question for you. How, because as a listener, I just don't know what's going on, and I don't know how
know.
much of it is random and how much of it is intentional.
Right. That's partially because I've programmed a lot of performance in that piece of music as well. So, like, the distortion is already programmed to get louder as it goes, which is why
Okay.
it's increasing volume. Yeah. So it's like it's a super deep instrument, and like all sequencers, they all can't do this, but like they're all pretty complicated and stuff. So that's why I totally understand the confusion when you're just coming. And also, if you could see the screen, it would make more sense, but obviously you cannot. So no problem. But so sorry if it's confusing to listen to.
No,
But-
it's fine. It's just it's like calling it. I don't know if like instrument's the right word, and maybe it is, but like when I think about, okay, there's a trombone,
Yep.
and then there's a Tonverk.
Yeah.
It's like those are very
Well-
different things, because like the thing with
Sure.
trombone is like you only make sound through you have to practice a lot even to just like make basic sounds. So like what happens
Right.
is like you can't really, until you get good at it, you can't discover new things through the trombone. The thing
Right.
about synths and other instruments is like you can to some extent twiddle knobs and push buttons and respond to things.
Yes.
So
that's all you
seems
do.
more like it seems more like discovery based music making.
Yeah.
Where other instruments, analog instruments like piano, it's like
Uh-huh.
you have to get really good at piano before you can then have like a feeling and then map that onto an instrument through intention. But you're not responding to things that are just like you're not responsive. Like you're.
That's not entirely true, is it? Because like think about when you're just.
I mean,
like,
once you
in the
get really
sauce,
good, like
and you're
yeah,
good,
I mean,
right? Yeah,
once
then
you
you're
get
just-
really, really good, and you can lose
Right.
yourself, and you can turn into a flow state, then you can
Yes.
discover things, and that's
That's
how
what I mean,
largely
yeah.
I compose things.
Right.
But that's
Yeah.
gated by an enormous amount of skill and time.
Yes.
And what's
I
interesting
know.
about electronic instruments and making music in a DAW is that it things can happen and you can respond to them instead of like you have to learn how to play a piano. It's like you can just like have sounds like, oh, what if this? Like it feels more like
Yeah.
a sandbox. Like you're
Uh-huh,
just
yeah,
playing
totally.
around. Like, oh, that's cool. I like that. What if we do this? It feels like more like what if driven rather than like
Yeah.
I have to practice my scales.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not technique in the same way, but I mean, like part of the reason I did have to learn how to use this, and I'm still learning how to use it like an instrument, and I can't, like the first stuff that I made on this sounded like crap, because I was just figuring it out, but I also, the safety of just, my own headphones, my own space, whatever, outside, I'm just like, no one's listening, no one's judging, whatever comes out, and I think I don't even know what this can do yet, but I can see how it's going to help me just be inspired, and like on those days where I'm not inspired,
I
just
think it's
show
cool
up
that
and do it.
you can have an instrument where it makes sounds that you don't expect.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what a synthesizer is, And so this is sort of like a synthesizer. Technically, it's an effects modulator, because all you can do is just add effects and like change the attack and decay and all this,
Right.
parameters. And so
Yeah.
that's all
and,
it
like,
does. Just a
I mean,
ton of
I'm
it.
gonna challenge my own thinking in a way, because it's like I could see how it could become like an instrument. I guess I'm just thinking about like instruments feel intentional to me, where it's like
Yeah.
you're trying to do something and you're able to map intention onto sound. But if you get really good at this thing, because the parameters are different than like playing a trumpet, where you're thinking in terms of like attack, decay, sustain, release,
Yeah.
for filter envelope, for this,
Yeah, yeah.
distortion, saturation, reverb. Like these are things you never think about if you're playing a brass instrument.
No,
You're just like,
no.
let me get the right tone. So it's like, I don't think
Get
I'm
it.
challenging myself to say, because I think there's a bias is like orchestrally trained musicians, like, oh,
Sure,
is that
sure,
an
dude.
instrument?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, dude, this is a different game. Like
It
the
is.
parameters that we're playing with are different than
Yes.
playing an analog instrument.
Yes. So it's a very different. I think you'll understand why I call it an instrument, because once you get something like that of your own, where you're playing around and because like, yeah, I mean, I do hear what you're saying, like, but like with piano, like if we're just rolling and we're just playing and like no one's listening, then it's just, we're just in the sauce, and we're safe. And is there a dog down there? Oh my God. I don't know where I am. I don't know. Oh God, dude.
But like things can just
Crazy.
happen because I've played so long that like there are these patterns baked into my
Right.
fingers where it's like I'm not
Right.
I'm not auditing like da-na-na-na-na, like I'm not thinking
yeah.
about it. I'm just
Yeah.
it's how much of the instrument is just encoded in my nervous system behaviorally. I don't
That's
know.
a great point, and that's something you and I have a lot of because we've done music for so long, and so that's why like learning something like this is easier for me because I've been a musician forever, and it also would be easier for you because like you know a little bit about like ADSR stuff, and so it's like so there is a threshold to getting into making music with these things, and it's not nearly as high as the trumpet. Obviously, brass playing, it's like just making a characteristic tone takes 5 years, you know. God damn it. Yeah, there it is. And
Dude, it's hard. I respect us for
it's
playing
so
brass
hard.
instruments, dude. It is
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
joke.
I respect brass players more now that I don't play anymore. You know?
Absolutely,
And like,
me too.
I had a gig yesterday or 2 days ago. I do play, but like, it's hard. It's scary, you know? And it's like, these perfect moments of music coming up, and I'm like, oh, I just want this moment to be so perfect, and it's my solo, and, you know, and you want to make sure that you nail it just for the music, you know? But yeah, I think I'm really curious to see what your experience is going to be once we get something like this. Maybe not exactly this, but something where it's like you can dive in because it just takes you places. And that's what creativity is just following things, you know, following whatever instinct or idea you've got, and also just showing up consistently. You know, Joel Puckett saying, I don't know where the muse is, but she knows where to find me, or something like that.
It's something like that,
Botching
yeah.
it. Yeah, it was the effect is he's always there at a certain time. So it's like, yes, if you're there and you're just chipping away at this thing, then you reveal what it is. And it's like sculpture, like Michelangelo, you know, and that's just the art is there already. You just have to remove everything else, and that's just the most inspiring thing ever. Yeah, that's just and that's when I use these instruments, these sequencer things, or the DAW even, but especially this because it's free of judgment. It's safe. I'm just making noises. I'm experimenting constantly. I'm experiencing that in real time. And again, once I get better at it, I think we can do this where I'll even try and do it with you. And I'll have like maybe a general idea of what I'm trying to do, but I won't know what sounds I'm going to pick, and then we'll just try and do it. And, you know, I think that'll be a cool experience for both of us. It'll be sort of frightening because then I'm doing it in front of people, which is scary, but I just think it's really cool. So yeah, but I think it's great that you're also open-minded about your opinion of what an instrument is, you know, because
Yeah.
I think we'll
guess
see how you feel in 5 months or something.
I mean, I as someone who isn't as deep into music technology as you, I guess from the outside, maybe like some listeners even empathize with me because like
I bet,
I don't
dude.
know. It's easy to
What's
shit
going
on
on?
DJs and things like that. It's like, dude, you're just
Sure.
crossfading between songs, you know. But there are levels to all of this stuff. You know, there's taste, there's curation, there's a certain kind, like it's a different kind of attention. Like you're paying attention to different things. Like you're paying attention to reverb, ADSR, like what, like saw or sine wave. Like your
Source.
field of attention is tuned differently, and once you start tuning into that, you see all these. It's a new landscape of creative decisions with electronic music.
Yeah, and it's much more infinite than playing the trumpet. Nothing against playing the trumpet. I love playing the trumpet. And I love nothing like playing brass chords and all that stuff, you know. But when you talk about infinity, it's here, it's there, it's, you know. And I also think what's really cool about playing piano is that when you have the ability to play keyboard, then you can just apply that to whatever digital instrument. So like, it's not working right now, but I can actually play my Tonverk from my Nord keys, you know. And so then I can just like bake in the sauce like a piano, and then I can lean into more of my instincts of, you know, years of training and practice and stuff, and combine years of training and practice of your piano playing with infinity. It's like, I just don't know where it's going to take you, you know?
Yeah.
But I want to know. I'm curious. you know, because it's just amazing. Oh, no, that's pretty good. God, Phil Collins, God bless you. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I just realized something now. Like maybe you tell me if you think this is like too reductionistic, where it's like I show you a piece by John Williams, and I'm more focused on the notes, like the harmonies and like that selection, and then you're showing me moving music and this Tonverk stuff, and I'm thinking in terms of like the sounds themselves.
Yeah. Yes, dude.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's sort of film music, but that's also a lot of music. And like that's the beautiful thing is all of it's right. You know, everything's fair game.
Has its place.
There's no right or wrong. It's just are you into this or not, you know, and we're exploring, we're trying stuff, and it's the open-mindedness that is the key to like becoming a musician of all, you know, encompassing all these different genres. And I love that we're bringing such different things. And like, yeah, I definitely showed you some scores because I was amped, and there's a lot more, but like there's also so much stuff that we've known for many years. So it's like we just have a lot of love for all types of music, and I think that always should be celebrated. And I love that we can do that just on the phone, basically. You know, like this. It's unbelievable.
A very souped up phone call, essentially.
Yeah, crazy expensive souped up phone call. Bank accounts.
You were talking
agony.
about. I mean, yeah, maybe to like try to end this session of relentless bombs. You were talking about the creative process, and you reminded me of a quote by Mary Oliver, this writer. Maybe she's a poet or something, but it's a very succinct phrase. She said, "Pay attention, be astonished, tell about it."
Oh my God, that's incredible. That's okay. Wow. That's inspiring. Dude, there's so much like that, you know, and it's just, I've fully embraced exploration, you know, as a musician and a person, you know, and I think that's exciting, you know, and I think, we are an opportunity where we have nothing else, sort of, we don't have other full-time responsibilities that are like sort of bogging us down from just like being in the clouds. That's where I want to be, you know, and be astonished by whatever comes out of this box, you know, this little art box that's on my lap. And yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause like, it makes me think of like what you're doing with something like the Tonverk is like, you're paying attention, and you're paying attention to the things that to various degrees astonish you. And then you're moving closer to those things. And that's the discovery process.
Yes. Yes. And it's also, again, like you said before, it's more about the quality of the sound and the character of that sound versus the pitches. Because sometimes the pitch is just C, you know, but it's like I programmed this
That's not
crazy
the interesting part. Yeah.
That's not the interesting part. It's like one note of MIDI, you know, no one cares. You play it on piano, it's boring. But if you press this and press C, it takes you somewhere, you know, and I decide where it takes me, you know.
Right.
That's sick.
Very cool.
You know,
Very cool.
that's ridiculous. So, all right. Wow. What a bomb. This is amazing.
Holy moly. That was a lot.
I don't even know how to end it. Do we play music on the way out or what? We can end with Beggarman.
Maybe I'll play like the last section of Beggarman.
Dude, play it. Send it and take care. This
is just a little coda. These are the really cool chords I like.
Ooh.
All right.
Thank you for that. That was a good way to end it.